Do you guys like nice things like we do? Well, if you do, you want to stick around because we're in SouthPark today, which is one of Charlotte's most luxurious and exclusive communities.
Today, we are taking you on a driving tour of the SouthPark area. We're going to show you all of the best restaurants. We're going to show you the hottest neighborhoods, the top-rated schools in the area, and all the fun things to do. So buckle up because we're going to take you on a ride.
Let's go.
Oh, and before we get started, we are Heather and Doug, and we're local Charlotte real estate agents, and we would love to help you with your move to Charlotte or any questions that you may have. So please feel free to reach out. Call, text, email, however you want to get a hold of us. Our phone number and information is listed down below.
All right, guys, so we're obviously here in the car now driving into SouthPark to give you an awesome tour and overview of everything you're going to want to know about living, working, eating, sleeping, playing in the SouthPark area, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about where SouthPark is first? So SouthPark is pretty centrally located just south of Uptown. So if you're looking at Charlotte on a map and you see Uptown, just kind of south, maybe 15 minutes,
Yeah.
would you say? It's about 15 minutes south of Uptown and about 20 minutes north of the Ballantyne area. So really great location, centrally located.
Yeah, if you look at Uptown Charlotte and South Charlotte, SouthPark is pretty much right in the middle. And we're also only about 15-20 minutes from the Charlotte Douglas International Airport. So that's one of the things that people love most about the SouthPark area is you could pretty much be anywhere you want in Charlotte in about 15 minutes.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's super accessible, really easy to get places. So we are on Sharon and we're just pulling in here because we wanted to show you, this is kind of an apartment condo complex, but it's got a really nice steak restaurant called Steakhouse, which is fantastic, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of little plaza type things like this, guys, all around the Charlotte area. And SouthPark has lots of great little sub pockets like this with awesome restaurants and commercial down below, and then some pretty high-end condos and apartment complexes right above. We're coming around the corner here. You've got a bar studio, you've got a salon, there's a spa.
We're also going to come up on Whole Foods. So this is a huge Whole Foods right in the middle of SouthPark. You've got quite a few good grocery shopping options here. So there's one of the biggest Harris Teeters in all of Charlotte.
Yep, so we're just pulling in to the Whole Foods here. We are pretty much right in the center of SouthPark, I would say. The center of SouthPark you can kind of use, if you look at the map, it's Sharon and Fairview. And at that intersection is pretty much the heartbeat of all of SouthPark, I would say.
Yeah.
You have SouthPark Mall right there on one side. You've got this Whole Foods area on the other. As you can see, it's super busy around here. Doesn't really matter what time of day. There's always something going on around here. So we're just leaving the Whole Foods right here and we're pulling out onto Fairview and we're headed towards the east and we're gonna come up on one of Heather's favorite places,
Phillips Place. So there's some really great restaurants in here. We have Restoration Hardware that has a rooftop restaurant. So it's a really beautiful place to take family and friends when they're in town. There's also 800 wood-fired kitchen that has a bar and lounge in the front. That's a really cool place. They have small plates there. And we're getting ready to turn down Phillips Place Court. And this is where you're gonna find a lot of high-end shopping boutiques here. Most of these boutiques are going to be very expensive. You're talking $1,000 for a pair of pants. So it's a fun place to walk around and window shop. Be prepared to bring your entire wallet if you are planning on buying anything over here.
We just passed 800 degrees wood fire, which is a really great restaurant. Fairly new. It's opened in the last 2 years. Southern Pecan right here is another really good restaurant, as is the Palm restaurant right here in front of us. We're gonna swing around and
there's a newer restaurant here to the right called the Salted Melon.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've never tried it, but we have heard it's great. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner there.
Yeah, cute little patio area. So as you can see, this is a really cool, hip area. Lots going on. There's lots of little cocktail tables and umbrellas, and you see people out here most of the time, especially, as work is starting to get off, and people are kind of trickling over here from some of the commercial corporate parks, which there are a ton of.
Here's another great shot of the Restoration Hardware store with the rooftop. And there's also a movie theater in the back of this shopping center. And if you were to go straight across here at this intersection, you'll find office buildings, bank buildings. There's some healthcare facilities. I think there's a freestanding emergency room here. Now we're headed back west on Fairview, and we're going to be coming up on SouthPark Mall on the right-hand side. And SouthPark Mall is one of the 2 malls we have in the Charlotte area. SouthPark Mall has Nordstrom's, Neiman Marcus, Gucci, a lot of your higher end stores here, along with like your favorite stores. So it also has Altered State, Black House White Market, Express, Victoria's Secret. So you've got a little mix of everything. And then it's anchored by a couple restaurants, and then there's a new brewery on the backside along with a playground. So you can sit outside, you can have some drinks, and the kids can run around and play on the playground. It's always very popular when the weather's nice.
So as far as being centrally located, people really love having quick access to uptown, quick access to the airport, like Heather was saying earlier. And kind of your main roads that come through South Park are going to be Fairview, which goes east to west, and then Park Road, which is kind of on the west side, and that sort of frames in the west side of South Park. And then over on the east side of South Park is Providence Road, and that's where Foxcroft is kind of over on that side of South Park. And then maybe Woodlawn up on the north side of South Park would be sort of the border where that sort of starts to blend into the Myers Park area. And then obviously just a little bit further north of that is going to be Freedom Park, which is a beautiful park. We've done a couple videos on that.
Yeah.
That particular area of Myers Park and Freedom Park.
And Woodlawn kind of switches over and changes names to Runnymede. So Woodlawn borders the Park Road side, and then Runnymede comes across and it hits Colony and Sharon and Providence.
So we are pulling into the main entrance of South Park Mall, which is one of your favorite places in all of Charlotte. Obviously, you've seen Maggiano's here. There's also Cheesecake Factory, which is right here. This is a great mall. I don't like to go shopping, but if I do, it's a good mall.
Yeah, it's got some great stores here.
Really good restaurants, high-end jewelry stores.
And then if you go straight across, you'll find Little Mama's, one of our favorite Italian restaurants, Diamonds Direct, which is a super popular place to buy jewelry, another really popular sushi place called Baku.
Yep. So we're pulling out of the mall area right here onto Sharon Road. Right across the street, like Heather said, is Baku. Really, we love that restaurant. Great sushi.
Then if you look diagonal, there's a gray building over there, and that's Steak 48. Super popular steak restaurant here in Charlotte.
Yep, so Steak 48 that's a fairly new complex, right? That went up over the past, 3 to 5 years, I guess.
Yeah,
and
right after COVID.
Really high end. We keep saying that, but South Park is very high end. Steak 48 is probably one of the most expensive restaurants in Charlotte. I would say top 3.
You'll see a ton of fancy cars parked outside, and on occasion, you'll see some famous football players to see there. It's a great place to run into some famous people in the Charlotte area.
We've got Snooze right here. We'll point that out. We're at the corner of Carnegie and Sharon Road, and Snooze is a really good, fairly new breakfast / brunch place.
Yes, it's
right.
Great. Very popular, always a long wait. They have every kind of mimosa you could imagine, every flavor of pancake you could imagine. It's amazing.
Yep, so we're pulling into the area where we mentioned Steak 48 is. So again, this is another one of those kind of plazas where you've got high-end apartments and condos. Upstairs, there's a hotel, there's a Hyatt right here. And then downstairs, obviously, you've got your commercial and some really great restaurant options.
And on top of this Hyatt, there's a restaurant called Mizzou, and it's got small plates, and it's got a really great rooftop patio where you can sit out and watch the sunset when the weather's nice. Great date night place.
So the other thing that they have right there by Steak 48 in that little plaza that we just came from is In-Town Swing Club. So it's called In-Town Golf Club, and this is a private, pretty exclusive membership only place that You can go and bring clients, super fancy, very nice inside there. And, you know, you've got great food and drink options, lots of nice leather couches and things like that. And you can bring your golf clubs in there, and they've got really high-end golf simulators. So it's just a great spot for, you know, SouthPark professionals to come after work if they have the membership, and you know, meet some clients over there or friends over there. It's a pretty neat spot.
And it's pretty exclusive, and it's hidden, so there's no signs out front, so you wouldn't even know what you're walking into. And you kind of walk into this pro shop area, and then they guide you towards the back to this hidden golf club. So it's pretty impressive to bring clients to.
So we're pulling in off of Sharon Road into the mall / village of SouthPark, and this is also where the residence at SouthPark is, which is a really high-end apartment complex. People love it because obviously it's right here in the middle of everything. You can literally walk downstairs and you're in the thick of it. So as you can see here, another little plaza area with residents upstairs and more commercial and stores downstairs. There's some pretty high-end stores in here, right?
Yep. There's some great little boutiques in here as well. Some other high-end stores, high-end men's clothing stores. And then some of our favorite restaurants are over here. So one of the restaurants that's super unique and has been here for quite some time, I think pretty close to when this plaza first opened, is Cowfish. So Cowfish is a mix between burgers and sushi. So if you like sushi, but your husband doesn't, he can get a burger and you can get sushi. They also have really cool bento boxes where you can get a little of both. And Booyah Gastro is another really great restaurant for date night. They have a lot of small plates, a lot of shareables there, great drinks. They also have these giant paellas, so if you come with a big group, you can get this giant paella, and they have different flavors. They have seafood ones, all different kinds. They take about 30 minutes to cook, so you kick back, relax, have a couple cocktails, and share this amazing meal with friends. They also have a great patio, which is dog friendly as well.
Yeah, it's an awesome spot.
Right back here in the corner is Booyah that we were just talking about.
So as you can tell, a lot going on around here. You have to be careful. There is a lot of people. There is a lot of cars, a lot of traffic, and it's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. So just to give you an idea, and we say that in a lot of our videos, right? Charlotte is super busy. It's popular. People love it. And that's
lots of people moving here, which equals tons of traffic.
That's right. People like you.
Day.
But we make these videos because we love getting calls from our YouTube clients, and we have helped lots of them move into the SouthPark area. We love SouthPark. We would probably live in SouthPark if our kids weren't going to school in South Charlotte.
I actually lived in SouthPark in my 20s, and I lived not far from the whole SouthPark Mall area. I was about a half a mile, so it was awesome because I could walk to the mall, and there used to be a great brunch place right at the mall, so I would walk often. So we are directly across the street from the mall on the other side. And there is another shopping center here. You'll find Williams and Sonoma, Bricktops, which is a super popular pizza restaurant, couple jewelry stores.
Yeah, it's a pretty part of Charlotte. As you can see, you know, there's lots of trees, nice landscaping. It's very well kept. They've got obviously a lot of landscapers in these plazas that are making everything look nice, and obviously it's really green, lots of flowers out right now.
There's also a lot of office buildings in SouthPark. So if you look straight in front of us, there's a couple office buildings here, and then there's some on the other side of the mall. So super popular place to come for lunch during the work week.
Yeah, that's a good point. Tons of people work in the SouthPark area. In fact, we have a lot of clients that are asking how far is the commute to SouthPark from wherever, right? Because there are a lot of big corporations and businesses here in this area.
We're on Carnegie right now, crossing over Barclay Downs, and we're going into some of the office buildings here just to kind of give you an idea of how many businesses there is in the SouthPark area.
Yep, lots of medical offices, lots of attorney offices. We have a lot of closings actually back in these areas. So maybe that's why it was busy. People were out and about for their lunch hour, yep, and then heading back into the office.
There's also a lot of new apartment complexes going in here, high-rise condo towers.
Yeah, super nice with really great amenities. You know, I've heard some of these that have actual golf simulators inside them. This is Piedmont Town Center right here. So this is another town center. As you can see, there's a lot of them.
And this is another like live workspace. So you have office buildings across the street, you have condos up above, and then you have some great restaurants and gyms, pretty much anything you need in here. So this is super popular because it gives you some walkability, with which not all areas of Charlotte have. And the condos in Piedmont Row can be very pricey.
Fun fact about Piedmont Row, actually, it's known to have radon, which is a type of gas that we test for in a lot of real estate transactions. Most people don't think that high rises and places that don't have basements have radon, but actually there are spots in Charlotte that do. So we can obviously do inspections and help test those things for you.
There's a couple high-end restaurants in here, Bentley's, you have Leo's Italian Social. One of my favorite steakhouses is Del Frisco's. You also have Duckworth's Grill and Tap House, and they're located throughout Charlotte. And they're a great place to come and watch the games on Sundays.
Yeah, they have tons of TVs, probably 30, 40 TVs in each of their locations. Food's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it. Woodhouse Spa, that looks fancy.
There's a Bentley sitting over there.
Yep.
You'll see a lot of really nice cars in the South Park area. Pepper Vine is also a super popular restaurant.
All right, so we're pulling out of the Piedmont Town Center right now, headed east, and we are coming up on another one of our favorite spots, or my favorite spots in South Park, and that is Legion Brewery, which is a local brewery here, right here on the left. And they've got great food. They've got really good beers. Pretty popular place here in Charlotte, and so that gets real busy after hours once all these businesses let out.
And it's really family friendly, so you can bring your dogs. They have a great outdoor patio. There's always tons of kids running around, so it's fun for the whole family. And I really like the food. Not all of the breweries around Charlotte have good food or have food at all, so it's nice to find one where Doug can enjoy the beer, I can enjoy the food, and we can bring the kids and the dogs.
Yeah, it's a really fun spot. And there's quite a few little breweries like that around the Charlotte area. That's really the only one in South Park, but if you go over to the South End area, which is 15 minutes from here, just like everything, you've got tons of options for breweries if that's something that you're interested in. So the other brewery here in South Park, which I forgot about, which is brand new, is called Suffolk Punch. And they have one of those up in, is it in the South Park? Or South End area?
I think it's in South End. I think this is their second location here.
Yeah, it's really awesome. It's a great space. We are in the mall parking lot over here by Dick's, and it's right back in there.
And it was the one I was talking about earlier that has the playground right outside. So you'll see a lot of families out there as well while the kids run around on the playground. Mom and dad can enjoy a couple drinks, and of course it's dog friendly.
This is Reed's. We love Reed's.
Reed's is amazing. So it's a grocery store, like a specialty grocery store where you can buy baked goods. They have a meat counter. They also have a lot of local gifts, but they also have a great restaurant with a patio over here. They do live music on the weekends, and their food is amazing.
So we're pulling up to the back part of SouthPark Mall's parking lot, and as you can see, they have tents, and there's like a big auditorium down here. And this place is awesome. We're going to jump out real quick here, and we're going to show you what this is all about.
All right, so we are at Symphony Park, and this is an awesome place. They have a lot of different festivals out here. They have the Food and Wine Festival in the fall, but in the summertime, they have Live at 5 every Thursday night, and they bring different bands out here at the amphitheater, and then they'll have food trucks, and everybody will bring their chairs and picnic blankets. They'll have little bars set up, and then the Charlotte Symphony also does a summer series called Pops in the Park.
Yeah, this place fills up. It gets super busy. We love coming out here on Thursday nights.
And it does get really hard to find a spot, so you want to come early to make sure that you get a good spot.
So there it is in real life. So we just ran across one of the Skipper shuttles. So this is a free shuttle service in the South Park area. So you just get on their website, download their app, and they'll give you free lifts anywhere around the South Park area from, I want to say, 7 to 7. Monday to Friday. Okay, so right here we are making a right onto Fairview from Barclay Downs, and We're headed in the general direction. If you keep going straight, you'll go all the way out to the airport. So pretty direct shot right out to Charlotte Douglas International. So as you can see on the left right here, you've got some townhomes. They're building a lot of these pretty high-end duets and townhomes. Duets is more, it's like a new terminology for
A duplex.
a duplex.
It's a fancy way to say duplex because these are high-end, live like single-family homes, duplexes.
So this is Copper Builders here on the right side. They have a number of homes that they put in over the last year or so. In fact, there's still one for sale here at the end.
Beautiful.
5515. We'll pull that up on the MLS photos so you can take a look at just the quality of build that Copper Builders puts out. They're one of the exclusive builders in the Charlotte area, really high-end custom homes. We are north on Park Road now, and we're headed up towards Park Road Shopping Center. And if you stay on this road for a ways, you'll eventually get up towards the Freedom Park area.
Freedom Park, East Boulevard, coming up into Dilworth and South End.
So as you can see, guys, it's really pretty here. Lots of trees. Very walkable. There's sidewalks everywhere. There's fountains everywhere. It's very nice. More apartment complexes going up. Seems like every corner we turn, there's a new apartment complex.
And they're all high-end luxury apartment complexes with tons of amenities.
So you have another Harris Teeter right here on the left side. Tons of grocery store options, tons of gym options, right, for working out. We've got traffic jams and construction and lines of traffic everywhere we go. It's not even 2 o'clock in the afternoon right now. This is not normally a super busy road.
Well, at least not at 2 o'clock.
Right.
It is at 5 o'clock or at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's just become a lot harder to get around the Charlotte area because of all the new folks moving here. But we're trying to keep up. Lots of construction.
Lots of road expansion.
They're making everything better. It's just we're living through it right now. You need patience.
Which Doug doesn't always have.
So we're still on Park Road, headed north. As you can see here on the right side is a very large Ortho Carolina complex, which is, one of the most well-known, I guess, the go-to, I guess, for any type of orthopedic issues. Breaking any kind of bones, typically that's where the doctor will recommend you go for your follow-up. So we're going to turn right here onto Montford, just so I can show you Montford, which is not really South Park, but it's right on the cusp of South Park. So you've got Angry Ales here, which has been here in Charlotte forever.
So has the roasting company. I used to live up this way when I first moved to Charlotte, and that was one of our go-to places for lunch. We're also coming up on Park Lanes,
which is now, they've changed the name in Bolero. Super fun spot. And then right here on the left side, it's called Good Food on Montford. And that is a super, very, very popular restaurant here in Charlotte. It's been here for a long time. It's always at the top of most of the best restaurants in Charlotte list. Highly recommend it.
So we are headed on Runnymede to the west, which will turn into Woodlawn, coming back towards Park Road. And on the right here, you're going to find Park Road Shopping Center. And there is a lot of great restaurants in here, a couple boutiques, some bakeries, a couple coffee shops. One of our favorite places is on the back side of Park Road Shopping Center is a hidden speakeasy called ... And it looks like you're walking into the back side of one of these buildings, and there's just 3 black circles on the wall. And they have some really great craft cocktails. They have seasonal menus. They do bourbon tastings. So it's a really cool place.
Yep. We got an Orange Theory Fitness here. So that's another one of those little boutique gyms that we had mentioned. Suarez Bakery. Flying Biscuit Cafe is a great breakfast and lunch spot. And then one of my favorite places here in Park Road Shopping Center is Black Hawk Hardware, which we're passing right now. It's actually Ace Hardware. This hardware store is awesome. That's all I can say. You just have to check it out if you're in town.
It has pretty much anything you're looking for. If you like smoking meats, they have all kinds of stuff in there. We went to look for our hardware when we were remodeling our kitchen. They have probably the best hardware selection in the Charlotte area. They have a garden center in the back, so really great all-around hardware store. So we're getting ready to pass Kava, which is one of our favorite lunch spots. They have great Mediterranean bowls where you can kind of make your own and put in the ingredients you like. It's super healthy, but super tasty. And then we're coming up on Burton's, which there's a couple locations throughout Charlotte, and Burton's, great restaurant. Everything there is super tasty. They have half-price bottle of wine nights on Wednesdays. We're also getting ready to pass Shake Shack. I've never tried, but I heard it's fantastic.
It is fantastic. I've tried it, and
Great burgers,
try
great
not to eat
milkshake.
those on my dietary regular list, but occasionally pretty good. There's Burton's right there. They've got an awesome patio too at both locations.
And then we have Velvet Taco, which looks really cool. I've never tried. Definitely something we'll have to check out. We love tacos.
All right, so we are driving into the Barclay Downs area, which is one of the neighborhoods we wanted to point out because it's super close to SouthPark, pretty much right in SouthPark, just north of the mall. And there's a ton of character in this neighborhood, and it's very, very popular and exclusive. And so it's tough to get a home in this area, in this part of Charlotte.
So you'll find a wide variety of homes in Barclay Downs. You'll find older homes that were built like between the 50s and the 70s, and then you'll find these gorgeous custom new builds. So what a lot of people are doing is they're buying these older homes that are a little less expensive, and they're just totally scraping the lots and putting a brand new gorgeous custom home. You'll also find people that are taking these older homes and just adding on to them and totally redoing the whole front, making it look like a completely different home, but keeping the same structure that was there. This neighborhood is super competitive and really hard to get into, especially if you find something in that lower price point, because you're competing with people that have the money to come in and scrape these lots. You're also competing with builders that want to get in here, scrape the lot, and put one of their new custom homes. So straight in front of us, we're coming up on the Barclay Downs Swim and Racket Club. You'll find totally different price ranges in this neighborhood as well. You'll find homes that go down to the 600s, and then you'll find your new custom builds that are over $4 million. And a lot of the homes in this neighborhood go to Myers Park High School, which is a super popular, highly rated high school that actually a lot of famous athletes have gone to.
Yeah, actually Drake May went to Myers Park High School, and then he went off to play at North Carolina, the Tar Heels, and then from there he is now on the New England Patriots. Fun fact. My son Reese actually played against him when he was playing for Providence. As you can see, there's obviously lots of trees in this neighborhood because it's been around for a long time. Some of these homes don't have garages, which a lot of our out-of-state clients are kind of surprised about. There's also no HOA in here, which is nice. Most people keep their homes pretty well maintained because the price point is such that, brings in that demographic.
If you look here to the right, you'll see an entrance to Briar Creek. It's a super popular place to go running, biking, walking your dog.
So like we mentioned, it's really hard to find properties in the Barclay Downs area. There's only currently 4 on the market on the whole MLS, and I believe there's three or four under contract and 3 or 4 currently active. Not a ton of turnover in here because when people find a house in here, they tend to stay for a long time. So this one is for sale right here.
So that one is currently active and it's listed at 2.3 million, 4,500 square feet.
Beautiful home.
Beautiful.
We'll drop some pictures of that home from our MLS in the video right here. The other thing people really love about this neighborhood is the super huge oak trees, and they get bigger and bigger as you get up towards the Myers Park and Freedom Park area.
Barclay Downs is really a favorite among families that are looking for that next level neighborhood. You've got the Swim and Racket Club, you've got phenomenal schools, and you've got a higher price point in that neighborhood. So if you come in and you buy one of those homes at a lower price point, you will have plenty of equity to go ahead and build your dream home in this neighborhood. Now, we realize this price point is not for all of our buyers, so we're gonna head over to Beverly Woods and we're gonna show you another neighborhood that is beautiful, well-established, has great big trees, and fantastic schools, but it's at a little bit more affordable of a price point.
So we are coming up on Sharon Road, and we are currently on Fairview. We're about to make a right on Sharon and head down towards Beverly Woods. We were just talking about it. We wanted to point out that, everything that we've shown you so far about SouthPark is very high-end, it's very exclusive, it's very expensive, luxurious. And it's true, it is. It does come with, that stereotype when people think of SouthPark. However, there are price points available for everyone. Well, I shouldn't say everyone. I would say 400.
Those people.
Yeah, 400 to 600. You can get into the SouthPark area.
It just really depends on what you're looking for. Right. If you want a condo or a townhouse, of course you can get into SouthPark a little more affordably, but a lot of those complexes are older. They're going to come with higher HOA fees, and not because they have a lot of amenities, but because
amenities.
Yeah. Maybe a small pool, but it's because they need so much money in the reserves to keep up with these buildings because they are quite a bit older.
Yeah, so 400 to 600 is probably the bottom of the line price point to get into the SouthPark area. And then it goes up from there, obviously. We showed you Barclay Downs, there's neighborhoods like Moorcroft Estates, Foxcroft, some very, very high-end exclusive neighborhoods around here. Quail Hollow, which is where Quail Hollow Country Club and the PGA Championship was just played a couple weeks back. So some very, very high-end neighborhoods. But then there are some middle-of-the-road ones that are also very, very nice, like Beverly Woods, which we are just about to turn into.
So Beverly Woods is a super popular neighborhood. A lot of our clients like looking over here in the Beverly Woods area because you have this beautiful, well-established neighborhood, gorgeous trees. This neighborhood goes to great schools, so you can get in here at a much lower price point than a lot of the other neighborhoods in SouthPark. Now that is going to be for houses that need a little bit of work, but if you're willing to put in a little bit of work, you can definitely get a return on your investment. We just had some clients in here from California looking, and so we pulled a lot of statistics on the neighborhood. And year-over-year appreciation in this particular neighborhood in SouthPark has been 10 to 12%, which is phenomenal. And you don't see that throughout Charlotte as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. So people love this neighborhood, obviously, because of the location. They love it because there's a ton of character and there's humongous trees, as you can see. You're going to find a lot of smaller ranch style, split level homes and some, older 2-story homes. There's not very many garages in this neighborhood, but you do see a lot of people that are putting them in because they've got pretty good sized lots.
And what we've also found is if there is a home in Beverly Woods that has been completely redone, people are fighting over it. So our clients that I was talking about from California, they found probably one of the most immaculate homes I've ever seen. And it was so competitive that it went off the market the same day. Our clients went $100,000 over ask, and we did not come anywhere near what this house went for.
Yep. It ended up going for 1.2, almost 1.3. It was the highest in the entire neighborhood. And it was a beautiful home. And that's not to say that that's what all the homes in here cost. That was one of the most exquisite, beautiful homes that we've ever seen in this neighborhood. And it was dialed in. It was perfect in every single way. Lots of offers, multiple offer situation. They called for highest and best, and then it was gone. But as you can see, everybody takes good care of their lots and their properties. It's lots of character. 1/3 to half-acre lots in here, I would say.
And if you are willing to do a little bit of work, you can get in this neighborhood between the $600,000 and $700,000 price point. And we are seeing some of the homes in the neighborhood being scraped and new builds being put in here as well.
Yep, absolutely. If you can get the right lot at the right price, builders included are trying to scoop them up in here just because this location and this zip code is so highly desired. And here is a couple for sale right here, which we will drop in the comments, 4014 Selkirk.
Another thing that our clients love about Beverly Woods is that there's no HOA in here. But you can tell, even though there's no HOA, people really keep up with their yards, tons of beautiful landscaping, but it does give you the freedom to do what you want with your home, with your yard. If you want to have, a boat in the driveway or something like that, there's no one here to tell you otherwise.
All right, so now we are on Sharon Road and we're headed over to Foxcroft. So we're gonna make a right here on Sharon View Road, which is kind of the back way into SouthPark, actually. The main route into SouthPark is, if you're coming from the South Charlotte area, is gonna be Providence Road to Fairview, but it gets really busy. I like to take Sharon View and Colony the back way in. It's a little prettier drive, much less traffic, not as many lights. It's just a little more enjoyable. And there's some really nice neighborhoods within this area that we pass that we've helped some clients move into. Just a really kind of quiet part of the SouthPark area.
So if you look to the right, you'll see Mountain Brook, which is also another very popular neighborhood. The price points to get in there are a little bit higher. If you find one at a lower price point, maybe between the $700,000-800,000, it's going to need some significant work.
Absolutely.
And people love that neighborhood again because it has those big, huge trees. It's well established. It's been there a long time. You have big lots in that neighborhood. It's really pretty.
Yeah, homes were built in 60s, 70s in there, but then mostly 70s, but then you'll find some newer construction in there as well.
And some of these places that we're passing on the right are some of the smaller condo and townhome complexes that we were talking about that are a little bit older, that you can get more affordably, but you're gonna have a little bit higher of an HOA. And we're on Colony right now, so if you keep going straight north on Colony, you're gonna wind back up at SouthPark Mall. We're at Fairview. We're getting ready to turn into Foxcroft Shopping Center, so a little shopping center outside of the Foxcroft neighborhood. You'll find Brick's Pizza, Foxcroft Wine Company. You'll find Ben & Jerry's ice cream. There's Caribou Coffee. A couple other small little restaurants and shops in here. And then right across the street from here, diagonal, you'll find the Foxcroft East Swim and Racket Club. It has a pool, tennis courts, water slides for the kids.
Yeah, this is a great little shopping center here. It's just it's small, convenient, just for some of the folks right across the street that live here to be able to run in without having to go all the way into the SouthPark area and the traffic.
Foxcroft is also close to a lot of high-end private schools. So you've got one right across the street here from Foxcroft, and then you're right down the street from Providence Day School, which is actually one of the most expensive private schools in Charlotte. If you're not looking to send your kids to private school, the public schools that this neighborhood goes to are fantastic. So this is a gorgeous neighborhood, and you've got a wide range of prices in here, starting in the lower 1 millions, working your way all the way up to there's one for sale right now in this neighborhood for 8 million.
Foxcroft is a super exclusive, very, very luxurious community. Lots of families, lots of executives in here. Obviously huge yards, beautiful homes, massive trees. So this one right here looks like it has gone under contract, but we can drop the pictures for you. 3040 Valencia Terrace. And there's some brand new construction right there. I guess they're remodeling existing.
Yeah, there are some older homes in this neighborhood, so you will see a lot of remodeling going on in here. And those are probably your homes that you're gonna get in that lower $1 million price point.
So as you can see, these homes are not super over the top. It's very pretty, but it's not overly pretentious in here. It's just you're paying for, obviously, the location, the zip code, and really just being in this community. You can definitely find some neighbors or neighborhoods in Charlotte that are $2, $3, $4 million homes, and they just look a little bit pretentious and over the top. I don't feel like that here in Foxcroft.
No, you've got a lot of older homes that have character. It's a really beautiful neighborhood. You have larger lots in here, and every house is a little bit different. It's really easy to see why this neighborhood is so popular. It almost looks like you're driving down the street of something out of a movie. This neighborhood is super popular with people that are moving from bigger cities, and they have a ton of equity, and they're selling much higher priced homes with much higher taxes. And they're coming down here and they're buying in this neighborhood, which is a much lower price point than what they're used to in places like New York, California, Chicago. And the taxes are much more affordable, so they're able to get a lot more home, a lot more space and larger lots for their money. Yeah, that is one of my favorite things about this neighborhood is everything looks different. The houses are spread far apart. You've got privacy, trees in between, large lots, and just every home is different. This neighborhood has so much character. If you're looking for that next level lifestyle, this is definitely one of the neighborhoods you want to consider. You are so close to South Park. You are right across the street from Charlotte Country Day, which is one of the top private schools in the area. You're just down the street from Providence Day School, which is, I think, one of the most expensive private schools in the Charlotte area. And you're just down the street from the SouthPark Mall and all of the amenities that you need.
All right, guys, that's all we have for you today. We hope you liked our tour of South Park as much as we enjoyed driving you around. And if you are thinking about relocating or moving to the South Park area or anywhere in the Charlotte area, please feel free to reach out, call, text, or email. We would love to be a resource for you. That's why we make these videos.
And if you guys are interested in learning about more of the best places to live in the Charlotte area, then make sure to watch some of our other videos. We have a list right down below. So until the next time, we'll catch you later.